this is the plays of the week. We're on fire this year. I think we're having a good week this week, too. One word of caution on this week. Naturally, we have to target shootouts with bad teams. Projected shootouts with bad teams is always and forever dangerous. When I see the top point totals feature a 4-6 Vikings team, a 3-7 Dolphins team, a 3-7 Commanders team, a 3-6 Bengals team, and a 5-4 Steelers team, as well as a 3-6 Cardinals team, and a 2-7 Raiders team. It's a very tricky week. All right, it's very tricky. We're going to play players in these games. We decided to pick them up on the waiver wire video. Waiver Wired was a live stream on Tuesday on the Player Profiler channel. Tune into the Player Profiler channel. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers. Please subscribe to the Player Profiler channel if you haven't already. So I would say this is not a week to be heavily exposed in DFS. This is a week to play it safe if you can, because these games are tricky. This is a very, very tricky week. It's like, oh, Cowboys are at Las Vegas. The total is 50.5. Maybe, right? It's like, I don't love this. A lot of these games, things would flip. If it were Dallas at home, I'd feel a lot better about it, right? I'd feel a lot better about Chiefs-Broncos if that were in Kansas City. I'd feel better about Texans-Titans if that were in Houston. I'd feel better about Packers-Giants if that were in Green Bay. But a lot of these bad teams are hosting the better team. On and on and on down the board. The Dolphins are hosting the Commanders. It's just tricky. It's tricky. There are some things, though, that are not tricky. There's some things are just a consistent truth of fantasy football. You always play Jameis Winston. If given the opportunity to stream Jameis Winston, you stream Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is at home. He's a 7-point dog at home. This is perfect Jameis Winston territory. I know that the total is only 42.5. Didn't matter. We're playing Jameis Winston and all those cheap options on the Giants. Just line them all up with Jameis. He's going to turn the ball over. There's going to be interceptions. They're going to lose the game. Actually, it's only a 7-point spread. We'll see what happens with this game. I don't know. The Giants fire the coach. So many people in New York, the New York area. I was just at LaGuardia Airport. I was talking to some people that were Giants fans recently, and they're very happy about Daboll. Daboll's a great coach. The fact that Daboll had them in all these games and had Jackson Dart so well prepared in his rookie year is admirable. If I were an NFL GM, I would have Brian Daboll on speed dial. Many of them do. Most people around the league know Brian Daboll knows football. He will have another job. He deserves another job. I hope he doesn't have to go to college. That would, but we'll see. I would hire him. Love Brian Daboll. Got a raw deal. Very unlucky this year. Oh well. We benefit because we get to play Jameis Winston this week. He's a streamer. So now, in honor of the start stream or stash show that we have on Player Profiler, I am giving you 3 quarterback options this week. The stream is Jameis Winston. All hail the Gunslinger King. All hail, all hail. And then just the straight up start-sit decision that you might have. If you have him on your roster, and I think he's only like 55 to 60% rostered in Yahoo leagues, I would play J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy is mobile. He's athletic. He has a huge arm. He sounds a lot like Jameis Winston, doesn't he? He just makes bad decisions. Oh, wow! So is he Minnesota Jameis? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All I know is Jalen Johnson's not playing. This game is shaping up to be a shootout. And this is one of those games where if you add up the wins and the losses, the Bears and the Vikings, you'll end up with more wins than losses. So that's good. That's good. With the 48-point total, this is a shootout I believe that you can set your watch by, and therefore I say play your Bears, play your Vikings, Justin Jefferson, of course. In the Flex 6 Frenzy, Justin Jefferson is going in the second round in a lot of drafts. So I would get on the Fast Draft app now, play in the Flex 6 Frenzy. There's 8 teams drafting. There's already been close to 20 drafts already happened just today, Friday. It's crazy how popular this game is getting. So jump in and play in the Frenzy. It's super fun. There's also the Quick 6 Super Slam as well. If you just want to instantly create drafts and build teams. Justin Jefferson is very interesting, and stacking this game is interesting. You could go Swift Jefferson. You can go Adunze, TJ Hawkinson. TJ Hawkinson's in play this week, clearly. I thought maybe he would break out last week, but it's coming. Breakout's coming for TJ Hawkinson. He's not going to dud out all year. Is he? I don't think. This would be the week. So, fun game, including, which we'll talk about at running back, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, a great play. Home game for Aaron Jones. They're giving him the fantasy valuable touches, which is red zone touches, passing game touches. So I like Aaron Jones as a start this week, a strong start, a one of the plays of the week is Aaron Jones and J.J. McCarthy. And we have a fringe wide receiver in this game, which we will talk about later, that I think you'll enjoy. So that's all coming up on the plays of the week. If you're stashing someone, I would stash Kenny Pickett. He has mobility, and Geno Smith has to deliver at home against Dallas, and I'm not sure. He just might be washed. We will see together. But if Geno Smith doesn't put up big numbers against Dallas, if they blow out the Raiders, we are going to see Kenny Pickett. So he is a guy you can stash in Superflex leagues starting now. Starting last week, really. Now, before we go on, I want to give 3 cheers. One of these, right? One of these. 3 cheers. 3 cheers. 3 cheers to Trevion Henderson. Oh, everyone was wondering when it was going to happen, if it was going to happen. He's a rookie running back. He's breaking out mid-season. Why is this so surprising? Why was this such a conundrum for so many people? You looked up the last 3 weeks, he's a play of the week. He's like, got to play him. He's a smash. 1 week, he doesn't smash as big as you wanted him to smash. And therefore, oh no, now it's in question whether or not this guy's good. What? Questioning his vision. And yes, he doesn't have the best vision. He sometimes runs into the back of guys. That happens. It's also a function of his great speed and burst. Getting out of the block so quickly. Sometimes his fullback doesn't understand the timing because there's also Ramondre Stevenson in practice, and this is so much different than Ramondre Stevenson. Trevion's ability to stick his foot in the ground and accelerate is a marvel to behold, and he finally received his flowers on Thursday Night Football, well-deserved. RJ Harvey, this is a challenging game. I understand for RJ Harvey. This isn't a soft matchup by any means. But he is now the main guy. It is a home game. He is going to be getting carries. He is going to be getting dump-off passes. Okay? So Bo Nix is going to be relying on him, and he is a super electric playmaker out of the backfield. I don't care that it's only a 45-point total. The implied points for the Broncos are not great. And do you see me recommending Troy Franklin or Cortland Sutton? No. But RJ Harvey is a different situation. RJ Harvey is the main back, and he is electric. And even if J.K. Dobbins were playing, I would say, hey, RJ Harvey's interesting. Okay, RJ Harvey is interesting no matter what, right? So J.K. Dobbins, let's see, J.K. Dobbins injury news. Let's see what the latest is on J.K. Dobbins. But as of 31 minutes ago, Rap Sheet made whatever decision they make on Saturday irrelevant because apparently the decision's already been made that there's going to be no J.K. Dobbins. I just want to make sure before I went to the ends of the earth shouting R.J. Harvey's name. And yes, he will be the main guy on Sunday. There's no J.K. Dobbins as expected. It's been confirmed by the great Rap Sheet. If the Rap Sheet's reporting it, then you can write that down. But apparently, it's so fun. I get emails from many of you, and I appreciate you. Right? I appreciate you can email me, podfather@rotounderworld.com, asking me, where's the plays of the week? And it's like, well, when I sat down to go live, I hadn't even had this update yet from Rap Sheet. I just pulled it up in real time because if I don't wait for this news to come out, the plays of the week is not as good as it could be. Now, I understand that a late Friday, early Saturday drop of a show is not going to get as many views, as many eyeballs, as many listens, but I want to do the best show I can. And so sometimes we have to just make sure that the plays of the week are the actual best plays of this week, and R.J. Harvey is one of those plays, as is Woody Marks. Woody Marks still under the radar. He's showing up on a lot of sleeper lists this week, so it's not like this is a deep cut. This isn't contrarian. Woody Marks has had one big spike week. This is shaping up to be his second, even though the game total's not exciting, right? But if there was a player that you would play in a game with a low total, what would it be? It would be the starting running back, the running back getting the majority of the carries for our team that's favored against a weak defense, and that would be the Texans. Am I saying start fringe wide receiver X on the Texans this week? No. I like Jaden Higgins as a stash, an upside stash for the fantasy playoffs. I don't necessarily think you should be playing a second receiver, an auxiliary receiver in a low total game. That's not typically a great play. I would rather play the receiver we'll talk about later on the Vikings because that's a game where you want exposure and you can play the wide receiver 3 and feel very comfortable. But yes, Woody Marks is set up to go boom again. I mean, the fact that he dominated the touches so much over Nick Chubb, it's like, hey, Nick Chubb is at the very end. Like these are the final days, the twilight of his career, and it's the beginning of Woody Marks' career. And wow, man, he looks like a young, fresh Joe Mixon. That's what he looks like. Pretty awesome. We talked about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, he's been efficient, even though he's only had limited practice reps since coming back. But this is like a return to form week for Aaron Jones. All signs point to that. And shocking, one of our plays of the week at running back is a home team. Shocking. A big favorite or a home team, not surprising. But we do have a running back on a team that is on the road and is not favored that I like, and that is Sean Tucker. This is now we're getting into fringe territory, right? We have a handful of plays at running back that you would consider good players on good teams or in good situations, and this is not the deepest of sleepers. I understand that's what we do. We give you some of the chalkier plays of the week, and then we give you some super fringe guys. Sean Tucker may not be as fringe as it seems. No Bucky Irving. He is a better between the tackles runner than Rachaad White. He has real explosiveness, and we saw what Devon Achane did to the Bills last week. And if someone is going to run like Achane, who has the Achane running style, it is Sean Tucker. And I know he wasn't drafted, but thank you, by the way, to the emailers reminding me, because I didn't mention it in the last show, that Sean Tucker had a heart condition, and that's why he fell out of the draft. I just want to be clear about something on this. I did know that, and I should have mentioned it, but you have to understand, if there is a player who has first, second round talent with a heart condition, then that player falls to like the fourth round. He doesn't fall out of the draft. So if there are health questions, then typically the player will fall to the final 2 to 3 rounds. You'll start to see these players with medical red flags start getting drafted. So if a player has medical red flags, that is a reason they can fall a few rounds in the draft. That happens all the time. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. For him to fall out of the draft altogether, it was more than just the heart condition. He was viewed as a raw player coming out of Syracuse and had a heart condition, and that's what led him to dropping out of the draft. And that's why he has been slow to become acclimated in Tampa. He was drafted in 2023. This is year 3 for Sean Tucker. But for these players that are raw, year 3 is when they figure it out. And you know what? This game, they're going to need Sean Tucker. They're going to call upon him. It's also possible that they are just disgusted by some early Rachaad White runs. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out. Just a nice source of cheap upside this week. He could break off multiple long runs based on his usage. They're giving him the chances now. So I would love to see him a little bit more involved in the passing game, but Rachaad White's a fantastic receiver. So that's just not, you're hoping for those Achane runs, but you're not going to get the Achane usage in the passing game. I mean, it's Achane. A few more hunches. Like this is what I like to call the hunch time. we're not crunch time, right? There's no crunch time on the show, but there is hunch time. So now we get into hunch time on the show. Chris Rodriguez, this is a hunch. I've had Chris Rodriguez in the plays of the week. It has not worked out. I do not have fantasy PTSD. I go right back to these players because there was an underlying thesis for Chris Rodriguez, and that underlying thesis hasn't changed. And that's he is the trusted between the tackles running back in Washington. He's been the one getting those goal line and green zone carries in recent weeks. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt has been struggling, and so this would be the week where they just say, hey, listen, we got to start feeding Chris. He's, as if I know him, we're buddies, Chris and I. Chris Rod, if this game does shoot out and Washington does exceed expectations, which I don't think they will, but Vegas thinks they're going to score a bunch of points. Chris Rodriguez is going to be more involved this week than in previous weeks. That is my hunch. And even if he has the same usage as last week, he gets you the touchdown, he gets you the 8 fantasy points, but 15 fantasy points, very much in his range of outcomes. This is a desperation dart throw running back. The even more desperate dart throw running back would be Brashard Smith. The 20% snap share in week 9 is the reason no one's playing him, right? If Brashard Smith had just had a 40% snap share, you'd have a lot more DFS grinders throwing darts on him as a lineup maker in DFS. But the 20% snap share, people just can't get there, right? Even though he had this game where I know they were milking the clock. They were in clock milking mode at the end. Blowout time. But still, I know he had the game where he got the lion's share of the carries in the second half, and he was productive. And he's had games where he had 100% catch rate. 4 for 4 in the passing game. He's had these weeks. All we need from him is, say, a 40% snap share and to go 4 for 4 in the passing game, break one run, and suddenly there's 15 fantasy points from Brashard Smith. Is that likely? No. This is a dart throw play. But there is no Isaiah Pacheco. And they're coming out of a bye with a rookie on the roster who is growing and evolving and getting acclimated, and much, much stranger things have happened than coming out of a bye, the explosive rookie gets more touches. Yeah, it's football. This is how it works. Also, the Broncos corners are really good. So if there was a player that would be the beneficiary of some target displacement, it would be Brashard Smith. Now, wide receiver, Every week is Juwan Jennings week. We're going right back to Juwan Jennings. His ownership is never high enough in DFS. He's always going too late in the Flex 6 frenzy. Get right back on this Jennings hype train. And then we're going right back. Again, these are a lot of the same plays. Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton with Jameis Winston. It's the whole Giants offense with Jameis Winston. Spoiler alert, it's going to be Theo Johnson when we get to tight ends. Then there's the Packers. The Packers have a bunch of implied points. Can't forget about the Packers. The weather in New York won't be bad. It's going to be just fine in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing holding back shootout conditions. I like the Packers this week. I like the fact that a lot of their skill guys are inexpensive. And that's Christian Watson. Who's the best, most explosive wide receiver on this team at this time that's healthy? It is Christian Watson. He gives you spike weeks. He gives you big plays. He's going to have 6 targets, 4 catches, and 110 yards and a touchdown. That's what he does. That's Christian Watson. That's what you're chasing, not Dontavian Wicks and the 7 targets for 35 yards and no touchdowns from Dontavian Wicks. No, thank you. I'm going to go with the explosive playmaker, even if he gets less targets, Christian Watson. Now, Jacksonville, they are in desperate need of wide receiver help, and they traded for Jacoby Myers, and now Jacoby Myers has fully digested the playbook. He is a better possession receiver than Parker Washington, who has been cleared of a hamstring injury. This is the week that they start peppering Jacoby Myers. They don't even have healthy tight ends. They have nobody. This is the dream scenario for Jacoby Myers, but because he didn't produce much last week and he and Parker Washington were sort of on par, there's this notion that, it might be Parker Washington again this week. No. We're at the point now. Jacoby Myers is a professional wide receiver. He is going to be the target leader. This is like a 10-target game, all lined up for Jacoby Myers. Super inexpensive. Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson is big and athletic and fun. Last time I checked, Michael Wilson has a nice profile, best comparable to Michael Crabtree. We're talking about 6'1", 216 with 75th percentile burst and 80th percentile agility. He has an alpha receiver skill set. This sounds nuts. I know you've listened to me talk about Michael. I almost said Michael Thomas. I almost did. I stopped myself. I was like, Michael He has the exact Michael Thomas build. He has a severely degraded version of Michael Thomas's game. I like Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson. It's a pure target conservation play. That's what it is. You know it. I know it. We haven't seen Michael Wilson really go nuclear. This could be the week. He has a quarterback upgrade in Jacoby Myers. All the wide receivers that were standing in his way have been vaporized. It is now the Michael Wilson show on the outside. And at this point in his career, he's a third-year player. He has third-round draft capital. He was productive in college when healthy. This is my favorite wide receiver play of the week. I can't believe I said it. Yeah, I know, because it's Michael Wilson, and I can't let him go. I just can't. I can't let him go. Oh, man. But I know we've been teasing. There's a particular wide receiver on the Vikings that I like. I've been teasing it. We're going to get to it. Trust me. We're going to get to it. You don't think we're getting to it. I know this feels like a rerun, but it's not. Trey Tucker. He is the number 1 receiver. They are playing Dallas. He has the juice. And yet I've seen not Trey Tucker picked, right? This is a super obvious one. Yes, this is just what we do. We just go with Trey Tucker has explosiveness. Trey Tucker is athletic. Trey Tucker will deliver this week. Geno Smith, he can't possibly flame out in epic fashion as we've seen him do time and time again this year against Dallas. I'm hoping that he does disappoint, but he does target Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker has the big playability, the splash plays at home. They're teed up for Trey Tucker. No Jacoby Myers now. I mean, come on. Let's go, Trey Tucker. Some of these wide receivers, they don't go nuclear in previous weeks where people played them and then they get dropped, they get forgotten about, they get discarded, they lose credibility as these streaming options or these inexpensive options. But Trey Tucker, man, like, there's nothing not to like. Let's go. Let's go. All on board. All aboard. Trey Tucker. Malik Washington. Now, this one I like, but this one is scary. This one is scary because, again, this Washington-Miami game, it's in Spain, and I don't think it's going to hit the 47.5 point total. Guys like Chris Rodriguez, fine, right? Fringe options, fine. Super fringe, fine. Malik Washington, fringe, fine. There's another player on Miami we're going to talk about a little bit later. So this is as far as I want to go. I don't want to be all in on Commanders Dolphins. So how do you do it? Malik Washington. Malik Washington is interesting because Malik Washington, he was scripted off the field last week. But, the run-first approach may not manifest this week in Spain. And, in Spain, it's not really a home game for Miami. So there could be, we could see a little bit less Achane in clock-killing mode because of that. Malik Washington is a good, solid possession receiver, and I think that the targets are really going to coalesce around Waddle and Washington and a tight end to be named later. So I get wanting some exposure to that game, but not too much. I think Malik Washington is the way to go. Also, Calvin Austin. We can't forget about Calvin Austin. Lots of targets last week, just didn't deliver. But if he can get 8 targets this week, my goodness, this guy has deep speed. This guy is what we're looking for. This is the game we're looking for. Now, of all the games, this is one that has, I think, the highest probability of all these shootouts, especially the ones where the overall win-loss total of the two teams is below 500. This is the one where I have a hard time seeing a low score. I think that the Bengals are here to score points. The Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, hopefully he wakes up on the side of the bed. These old quarterbacks, the Ben Roethlisberger corollary, when they are at the end, when they reach 40, every game is a coin flip how their body's going to respond. As long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't just show up to the stadium super stiff, I think we're gonna see some fireworks. And does that mean I'd be overweight on like a DK Metcalf? Oh, slow down, right? I can't quite. It's hard to get there with DK Metcalf ever, just because he's just The fringer options though, right? When DK Metcalf gets outproduced by Roman Wilson, it's just like, what are you doing? I'm not ready to go Roman Wilson yet. Calvin Austin is the wide receiver 2 there. He does have spike week potential, big play potential. That is the direction we're going. Again. And then a play I really love is Jalen Nailor. Jalen Nailor has been playing well and looks good. And so whenever a guy plays well and looks good, I think that's a player that we should be paying attention to. I also believe that J.J. McCarthy is going to figure it out. It's one of those situations where he didn't play as a rookie, and it's going to take some time for him to get acclimated again. Missed a bunch of games already. But you watch J.J. McCarthy, and some of the throws that he can make against his body down the field are special. He hit Jalen Nailor on a truly special touchdown last week. It was beautiful. Nailor has 83rd percentile burst. This guy is explosive. So this is what I like, an explosive playmaker who the quarterback we know is looking for deep, best comparable to Sterling Shepard in a good way, right? Now they face Chicago, no Jalen Johnson. It's a little more reliable to go with a player on like a pass-first team like the Vikings, where the Bears defense and the state of their secondary, there's going to be points scored in this game. It's easier to go with a guy like Jalen Nailor a lot of times than like a true second receiver, right? Calvin Austin's a second receiver. Malik Washington is a second receiver. But I feel more comfortable playing a guy like Jalen Nailor as the third receiver on the Vikings, especially because we're gonna see a step forward taken. This is the matchup where you see it. You shouldn't be surprised. Why would you be surprised? Top 10 pick, college football champion, J.J. McCarthy. He has the raw ability, the rushing ability, the downfield throwing ability. And Jalen Nailor is going to be a beneficiary of that this week. I like Jalen Nailor a lot. That's a little bit of point chasing from last week, and I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. Top plays at tight end, inexpensive tight end plays, Theo Johnson, duh. Dawson Knox, right? Dawson Knox, he is the top streaming tight end of the week. This is the right player on the right team. He already gets a ton of snaps and plays a lot for Buffalo. Now they're going to ask him to go out. He has run those routes. It's not like he doesn't know the routes. He's been the tight end one in Buffalo before, pre-Dalton Kincaid. He's going to slide back into that role, and Josh Allen's going to be looking for him a lot. So I'm excited to see what Dawson Knox can do. He is not one of these boring, check the box, guy's going to get targets because he's what's left tight end. No, I mean, he's best comparable on player profiler to Ben Watson. This guy has athleticism. This guy's tough. He is a great blocker. He's just going to be on the field constantly, leaking out for potential red zone and end zone targets. It's a great play this week. It's a real debate, though, of which is better between Dawson Knox and Luke Musgrave. I'm going to give the edge to Musgrave. I just love Musgrave so much. And, I just... Musgrave's best comparable is Dawson Knox. You can't draw it up more than that. So they're big favorites against the Giants. Packers are going to score a bunch of points. They have a whole bunch of injuries at wide receiver. They've lost all their receivers. Romeo Doubs is what we thought he was. Luke Musgrave, one of, if not the best backup tight end in the league, going to get an opportunity, and he's going to splash down. I know no points were scored last week, but that was like 10 days between games. With that game against the Eagles, that was just a slugfest. This is not a slugfest against the Giants, so this is where Luke Musgrave can really flex. I'm excited about Musgrave. A lot of great tight end options this week. A lot. Finally, for your viewing and listening pleasure, the fringiest of tight end options this week is Greg Dulcich. Greg Dulcich had a productive rookie year and has found himself on a team where he is what's left at the tight end position. So there is no Waller. There's no Tyreek Hill, remember. And the Dolphins are supposed to score a bunch of points this week, so you could do a lot worse than Greg Dulcich. If Musgrave and Knox aren't available, then you're gonna have to go with Dulcich. But I have pre-warned everybody. Yes, Malik Washington is a play that you can consider. Yes, Chris Rodriguez is a play you can consider. Yes, Greg Dulcich is a play you can consider. But these guys are like the last options at their respective positions because I do not trust this game. It has nothing to do with the country of Spain. I love Spain, but I don't trust this game.